Fox 61 News at 5 starts now.
He's doing fine. He's feeling good.
President Joe Biden tests positive for COVID-19. The White House says the president is experiencing mild symptoms.
And now at 5, a U.S. Navy technician behind bars today. The man being charged in the death of his wife and putting his 1-year-old child in the hospital.
Monkeypox cases on the rise here in Connecticut. We'll take a look at where the newest cases are showing up. And tonight at 5, our top story, President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19, and we are under a heat advisory and a severe thunderstorm watch, and a man charged with murder in a deadly New London fire. Good evening, and thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Brent Harden.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. Yeah, we saw some rain, lots of humidity today, moving all across the state, and it's official. We hit that first heat wave of the season. Today is day 3 of those temperatures hitting 90. All right, so we're going to take a look right now at downtown Hartford. Dry and sunny as of right now. That just wasn't the case just a couple of hours ago. We did see some rain. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank joining us now with what conditions look like out there. Did that help anything with the humidity, Rachel?
Not yet, but it will eventually. I think tomorrow the humidity is going to drop. The front associated with those showers and storms is lagging a little bit behind the action, but by tomorrow we keep the heat, but we get rid of at least some of the humidity. Now, you might be wondering, if you're following along with the National Weather Service severe thunderstorm alerts, well, we still have a watch in effect until 8 o'clock, but it's our opinion here, looking at the radar and looking back to the west, that we're done with the threat for severe weather. So I do think that that will be canceled early. There are a couple showers here in southeastern Connecticut, though. Congrats to you guys. I'm sure you want the rainfall. Groton, Mystic, and Stonington all seeing some rain right now. But it was nasty earlier for some parts of Connecticut. This is from Marie Roy in Terryville, where a tree came down and crashed through her fence during the storms today. And you'll see a trail of damage from a storm that actually was exhibiting signs of rotation from New Milford. It caused some hail over through Terryville, where it ended up causing multiple reports of trees and wires down, and also into Southington, where there are some trees down as well. I think Bethlehem is included in that too, for the chance for some reported pea-sized hail, I should say. If you look to the north, there's multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and there were multiple tornado warnings too for northern New England. Here's where we go here moving forward. Maybe an isolated leftover shower. Otherwise, it's a warm and humid night ahead. Temperatures right now are in the 80s, upper 70s though for Groton. We're certainly down quite a bit from where we were earlier today, when we had heat indices that were pretty much widespread in the triple digits. Heading through the evening tonight, it will be a few degrees cooler than it was last night. I mean, it's still going to be a warm and humid night ahead, but just not quite as stuffy as it has been. High temperatures tomorrow in the 90s, and it looks like it'll take a while to cool off as we head into tomorrow night. So we're talking about another hot day, day 4 of our heat wave, and even after tomorrow, we have another couple days to go. It looks like it will last through this weekend. Your full forecast coming up.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, New London police are investigating a case of arson that led to the death of a woman and put an infant in the hospital. This happened late last night. Fox 61's Carmen Chow visited New London to find out more about what happened.
Brent and Sarah, the incident took place here on Sherman Street. You can see the scene is still very active. Police still have their barricades up, their crime scene tape up, and 3 police cruisers and 2 crime scene vans are still here investigating. Police are calling this a domestic-related incident that stemmed from jealousy.
Any life loss, one life loss is one too many, and this is a tragic event in this within the New London community.
New London police and firefighters rushed to a home on Sherman Street shortly after 10:30 Wednesday night. A woman who did not want to show her face on camera or be identified said her father was the one who called 911.
It was all like the flames were all on the inside of the house. It was huge, like something I'd only seen in like movies.
Inside the home, firefighters found a 22-year-old woman with life-threatening injuries and was pronounced dead at the scene. A 1-year-old was rescued and is now recovering at Yale New Haven Hospital. In the back of the home, police found a 23-year-old man with non-life-threatening injuries, now identified as George Dodson. He was arrested and is facing a slew of charges, including murder and arson. Fox 61 learning he has been in the U.S. Navy for approximately 5 years. He is a second-class petty officer, and his enlisted occupation is a nuclear electronics technician.
My neighbors said that they had, just always kind of felt like the couple was a bit weird, the guy especially.
Dodson was arraigned at New Linden Superior Court. Court documents reveal when officers found Dodson, he was kneeling in the grass with soot and blood on his neck and chest. When asked if there were other victims in the house, Dodson said his wife, his kid, and his dog. Dodson eventually admitted to killing his wife with a hammer over jealousy and starting the fire. Dodson is being held on a $3 million bond. He is due back in court next month, and police have not yet identified the 22-year-old woman. Reporting in New London, Carmen Chow, Fox 61 News.
Carmen, thank you. Breaking news now that we're tracking at 5. President Joe Biden has tested positive for COVID-19.
The White House made the announcement earlier today, and Fox 61 political reporter Emma Wolfhorst is live in the newsroom with more. Emma.
Just hours before he was scheduled to take a trip to Pennsylvania, President Biden tested positive for COVID-19. According to the White House, Biden's positive COVID test comes as he experiences mild symptoms. The White House says the president didn't sleep well last night, is tired, and has a runny nose and dry cough. He is fully vaccinated and has received 2 boosters, but to help reduce the severity of the virus, the 79-year-old was administered antiviral Paxlovid this morning. The First Lady, who was in Connecticut yesterday and was in Detroit today to visit a public school summer learning program. She has tested negative and plans to keep her schedule. Dr. Biden briefly spoke with reporters about the president.
My husband tested positive for COVID. I talked to him just a few minutes ago. He's doing fine. He's feeling good.
President Biden continues to carry out his job in isolation, participating in Zoom meetings from the residence and phone calls to staffers. White House doctors are contact tracing anyone who's been close to the president, including attendees at his Massachusetts event yesterday, along with Vice President Kamala Harris, who tested negative this morning. Harris telling the crowd in Charlotte, North Carolina, she spoke with the president and he's in good spirits.
This morning, he and I spoke by phone. He is in good spirits. He is feeling well. He is doing well. He is fully vaccinated and twice boosted. And of course he is. And as everyone we would encourage who is eligible would do the same.
Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle putting politics aside and sending well wishes to the president. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi hoping his diagnosis will continue to spotlight the need for vaccinations. The White House says once President Biden tests negative, he will return to work in person. In the newsroom, Emma Wolfhorst, Fox 61 News.
Emma, thank you. Meanwhile, back here in Connecticut, the fight continues against COVID-19. So let's take a look at the latest metrics. Over the past 7 days, the positivity rate stands at 10.59%. There are 19 more people in the hospital getting treatment for COVID-19. And sadly, there were 8 more deaths due to the virus over the past 7 days. Well, the number of monkeypox cases in Connecticut continues to rise. There are 15 cases now across Connecticut. New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker says 2 of those cases are confirmed to be in New Haven. He held a news conference with public health officials to provide an update on the case of monkeypox in the city and to share information about the disease. Fox 61's DeAndrea Turner has the story.
I think the most important message is for people to be aware of what monkeypox is, how it's spreading, and what they need to do to protect themselves.
There are 15 cases of monkeypox across Connecticut, 2 being in New Haven.
Both are male, one in their 20s and one in their 30s. Both individuals, the cases have been mild.
Symptoms of monkeypox can include fever, headache, aches, swollen lymph nodes, chills, exhaustion, and rashes. And doctors say they're also seeing
sores around their genitals, pain when they're using the bathroom, especially rectal pain.
Health officials say that while monkeypox isn't sexually transmitted, it shows that prolonged skin-to-skin contact is one of the major ways monkeypox is now spreading.
The way that you prevent from getting monkeypox is that you should limit your sexual partners, practice monogamy, and also ensure that you are seeking treatment if you develop symptoms.
They also say that if you test positive, to stay isolated until your rash is healed. But beyond taking these precautions, health experts say there is no reason to panic.
For any individual, the risk of acquiring monkeypox is extraordinarily low right now. We don't need to stay awake at night worrying about this, but we do need to be informed.
In New Haven, DeAndrea Turner, Fox 61 News.
3 teenagers are arrested in connection to a fight in Shelton earlier this year. The 3 teens turned themselves into police. They're being linked to the attack of a 16-year-old who they invited to a party. This incident is also being linked to the stabbing death of 17-year-old James McGrath, who was killed that same night down the street in Shelton.
And new details now at 5. 7 people have been displaced after a fire broke out in Hartford. That fire happening at a multi-family home on Claremont Street. An adult female and a male teenager were treated for possible smoke inhalation and transported to a hospital for evaluation. They have since been released. 2 firefighters were evaluated on scene for possible heat exhaustion, and they have been cleared. The Red Cross is working to help the 2 families who were displaced, and the cause of the fire is currently under investigation. Well, today an 18-year-old is dead after being shot in Waterbury. That shooting happening just after midnight. Police were called to an apartment on Willow Street after reports of shots fired, and when officers arrived, they found the young man with gunshot wounds. He was pronounced dead on scene. There have been no details released on any suspects at this point.